Hey, 2K SPQR. And we've covered on the sequence of activities 5.0, we have covered the movement phase, command determination segment, the primary movement segment, the brigade movement segment, the command movement segment, and now we're at phase 2, artillery fire phase. The artillery fire phase is a very brief description, maybe an introduction of artillery. It doesn't really cover anything. It just simply says that the phasing player can fire his batteries at the enemy. That's about it. So artillery is going to be a very in-depth subject. So we'll just keep this as an introduction for 5.0. And let's get into it. Alright. Whoops, I almost knocked my camera over. Very dangerous playing GB77. Alright, let's see if we can get that going here. Okay, and we're going to need a CSA battery. Here we go. Now this is a Union battery, this is a CSA battery. The command is Tidball and for the Union, and the command is Pegram for the CSA. But the battery belongs for the Union, Caliph. This is Caliph's battery. This represents Caliph. And for the CSA, this is Zimmerman. This is Zimmerman's battery. The numbers on the side is how many. Zimmerman has 4 and Caliph has 6. When you turn the units around, you will have rifled, Napoleon, and howitzer. And on the bottom, you will have the identification of who this battery belongs to. So Caliph belongs to the 2nd U.S. A Corps, and the CSA battery belongs to South Carolina PD Corps. It is very important, and I'll show you right here, not to get batteries from this corps mixed up with batteries in this corps. Don't get these batteries mixed up with this corps and vice versa, or here or here. Keep the batteries that are assigned to this corps with that corps. Do not mix them up. It'll be your responsibility to make sure that doesn't happen. Rules make that very clear. And each corps, of course, tells you exactly where those batteries belong. PD, South Carolina, is right here. And my glasses have failed me. I can't even read. What is that? 2nd Corps? So PD belongs to 2nd Corps with all these other batteries, and they cannot get mixed up with 1st Corps or somebody else. And the Union has to comply with the same rules. Alright. And these little numbers here, Caliph has 6 rifled cannon. He has no Napoleons and he has no howitzers. PD has 4 rifled cannon and he has no Napoleons and he has no howitzers. So that's their strengths. The rules say that artillery cannot fire adjacent to artillery. Make it very clear. The rules also state that artillery cannot fire adjacent to infantry or cavalry. However, there is a way for this to happen, and I'm going to show you what I discovered. Now I want you to pay attention, don't get too excited, but we're going to set up a battle here real quick like. You get the idea. Ignore the colors, I don't have time to really start digging around unless I get lucky. Yeah, I'm not going to get lucky. Alright. Anyway. Set up the union. And let's see here, we need some command, don't we? So let's do it that way. Okay. Let's just bring that back a little bit. There we go. This is illegal. The Union artillery cannot be adjacent to the enemy. It also states, oh, you can add another cannon here. Another battery, here we go. It says in the rules that artillery pieces cannot fire between and adjacent to the enemy. This artillery piece is between his friendly units and he is adjacent to the enemy. This CSA unit is between his friendly units and adjacent to the enemy. This will not work. Totally illegal. What makes matters worse, and we'll just move him out and move him out. The battery cannot fire because his friendlies are in front of him. And same with the CSA. He cannot fire because his friendlies are in front of him. Can't shoot over the heads or through your friendly comrades. Can't do it. So what do we do? Well, if you remember, that little number right there tells you how many cannon you have, and you flip it over, and it tells you the same number, how many cannon you have. So, as I said before, Caliph has 6. And who do we got here? It's not PD. I think it's Crenshaw. It is Crenshaw. Crenshaw has no rifled, but he has 2 Napoleons and he has 2 howitzers. Crenshaw belongs to the Virginia Crenshaw. I flip it over, and sure enough, there's 4 there to confirm it. And when you add 2 plus 2, you got 4. So we got 4 artillery pieces. We got 6. Now, the rules state that you can stack your artillery pieces to a certain amount of number. think it's up to 24 in certain situations, up to 15 in certain situations, and up to 11 in certain situations. As I go into the artillery fire procedure, I will explain that further in detail. This is just an introduction now. So, another complaint is that I've heard players say that a battery alone does not do much damage. As a matter of fact, it's disappointing. Well, they're absolutely correct. One battery alone in a combat situation will not do much. Oh, you'll get your blood drawn, but it doesn't blow a hole into the enemy. That's what you want. So how do you do that? Well, you can stack them. Now, right now this is an illegal stack because you can't be adjacent to the enemy, so just bear with me. You can stack them. PD belongs with his own men. There we go. There's a certain amount of number, and we'll get into that later, as I said before. We got more. You can stack them to the allotted number allowed. And then you add them all together by type. So you find out how many Napoleons you got in that stack. You do your math, and then you can really do some serious damage. Same way with the CSA battery. Find out how many of what type that you've got, fire. Then you take your next type that you have, you add it up, you fire. Then you take your next type of cannon, add it up, and then you fire. So you can do damage that way. Now, as we said before, this is illegal. Can't do that. Can't be adjacent. We found a way to do some serious damage and blow a hole into that line and do some real maneuvering, but can't do it that way. So what do? I'll tell you what you do. You take another battle line marker, you put it under there. You take another battle line marker, and you put it under there. Guess what? You're legal. Those batteries can now fire adjacent. And I've got the ROI to confirm that I've got the reach, the range, and the ability to fire. Same way with the CSA. It has these batteries have the ROI, the range of influence, and can reach and attack that battle line. And the reason why is because I've got a battle line marker with this batteries. I've got a battle line marker with these batteries. If I don't have a stack and I just have one, then so be it. It's still legal. Batteries just can't fire alone adjacent. Can't do it. They're too vulnerable and they're going to get overtaken by the enemy. And the rules say no. So there it is in a nutshell. So I'm going to leave it at that for the artillery fire phase on 5.0. And we'll get into this a little bit more when we get into artillery. I just wanted to give you a quick introduction as well, add a little bit to it. Alright, that's all I've got for now. Keep gaming.